Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. We kick off today with a discussion of the recent Google antitrust ruling and what it potentially means for or how it involves AI. So for those not following along, Google yesterday lost a big antitrust lawsuit. In a landmark federal ruling, the US government has declared that Google's search engine is an illegal monopoly. The judge in the case said that Google's deals to be the default search engine on web browsers, most notably on the iPhone, were illegal because it helped it maintain a monopoly. What's not clear yet is what's going to happen now. As the information writes, the judge has yet to rule on what Google must do to fix its violations of antitrust law. They point out that the judge could potentially invalidate Google's search distribution agreements, which represent around $20 billion of profit annually for Apple. But as they point out, quote, the ruling could also jeopardize licensing deals Google has struck to improve the quality of its AI-powered answers in Google Search, such as a $60 million deal with Reddit. Now, it seems like Wall Street isn't particularly stressed about the deal. Neither Google nor Apple stock went down particularly much after the ruling, which might just simply reflect the fact that anything that's likely to happen could take years. With an extensive appeals process, etc., it might just be a concern for another day. Still, at a time when there is increasing search engine competition, indeed, when companies like Perplexity are trying to transform the entire way we think about search, this could add a new wrinkle to that competition. The information writes that after the ruling, several senior managers at Microsoft's Bing search engine privately voiced their excitement about the possibility that Bing could replace Google as the default search engine provider for Apple. When it comes to Apple, some think that Apple's move into AI could help it, quote, soften the blow. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman writes, Apple is weaving OpenAI's ChatGPT capabilities into its software and expects to do the same with Google's Gemini chatbot. Over time, the company could steer consumers towards AI and Siri instead of the web browser. That would give Apple the opportunity to reach new non-exclusive agreements with AI providers, including Google, that don't run afoul of the US government. Anyways, it is going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out. Another company under some antitrust scrutiny is NVIDIA. The New York Times published a piece this morning. As regulators close in, NVIDIA scrambles for a response. With a 90% share of the AI chip market, the company is facing antitrust investigations into the possibility that it could lock in consumers or hurt competitors. The article points to NVIDIA's scrambling to hire people to deal with these issues. They write, NVIDIA wasn't ready for the attention and is now racing to build the staff and offices needed to respond. Just last year, NVIDIA started searching for an office in Washington and hired 4 public policy employees. This year, it added its first in-house competition attorney to work alongside a legal team that has been addressing antitrust questions over the past decade. However, Daniel Newman points out that with NVIDIA, it might be a little bit more complicated. He said, regulators want to find out if NVIDIA is putting their thumb on the scale of the deal or if the product is so good that it sells itself. There's no evidence they're doing anything monopolistic or anti-competitive, but the conditions are right because of their market leadership. You'll notice, for example, that when it comes to that Google antitrust lawsuit, it's specifically about their deals like the one with Apple, not just a general determination that they have too much market share a priori. NVIDIA also continues to take heat after, as 404 Media puts it, leaked documents show NVIDIA scraping a human lifetime of videos per day to train AI. Prominent YouTuber Marques Brownlee continues to be angry about this, writing cool now leaked NVIDIA Slack messages discussing which YouTube channels to scrape videos from. Not everyone is so upset though. Alex Volkov, an AI evangelist at Weights and Biases, writes, I'm struggling with this, so let's talk about it. Google drove vehicles across all of the US and the world and took pictures of everyone and everything. Yeah, they blurred faces, but nobody gave them permission, and now we have Google Street View. How isn't this the same? Logan Thornlow responds, I'm pretty certain the big thing is scraping like this is against the YouTube terms and conditions. But we're in a bit of an unknown area. Creators don't want their videos to be replicated with AI, and essentially what this will allow. Alex responds, I doubt that the reason that MKBHD and other folks are getting frustrated is that NVIDIA supposedly broke YouTube terms and conditions. And I agree with that. I think it's much more that second thing, that creators don't want their videos to be replicated with AI. I continue to think that this will be both a society-level conversation as well as a legal conversation, and one that will inevitably land in the Supreme Court at some point. For now, that is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition. Next up, the main episode.